Hi, this is Sandy from Messy Paper Crafts, and welcome to today's episode of What's in This Box. And I have something really exciting for you today. It's a new collection by Ciao Bella. So let me get this out. All right, so here I have two new collections for you. The one is more spring related with birds, and the other one is something very interesting. It's about this spy. So they brought out this World War II related retro vintage paper and also fitting stamps. And yeah, it's about being a spy. And I don't know, this is such a cool thing, I have to say. So let me sort this out quickly so I present this to you in the right order here. All right, so here we have this really cool new paper collection. And as you can see, if you like vintage or any kind of retro inspired looks, you will like this paper. So I think this is really, really cool. So let's quickly go through all these different options that you have here. So as per usual, the paper comes in 12 by 12. So that's the big paper, and that's especially really good if you are into scrapbooking. Or if you're more into card making, then there is also a smaller version, that's the 8 by 8. Then I also like that you get this A4 paper. So this A4 paper is really cool because it's very good for cutting it into different pieces if you're into card making or maybe a canvas or any other art related project or like a frame or anything like that. So then this is really good to have. And what I also like is that they have these embellishments. So here you can do your own fussy cut, and it's actually called fussy cut pad. So here you have a lot of decorative options to embellish your project. So I think this is really cool. And this is in a 6 by 6 size. So different variety here depending on your needs. And let's start with this big paper pad. So as you can see, you get one paper option in 12 by 12 with, I would say, it's the main decorative line. So here you have a lot of motifs, but what I also like is more of a pattern pad, and this can go hand in hand with this line, and I will open this in a second as well. But let's go through this first. So as you can see, you have all these vintage or retro related objects here, like a cool old phone or this typewriter. It's all very spy or detective related. It has a lot of sayings like top secret, confidential, private, and I really love this because it's so unique and a little bit mysterious. And this woman is featured here as well. So I think this is pretty cool because usually you would think maybe James Bond, but here there is a woman, the main spy, I suppose. So let's flip through this and have a look. So here you see the first one, which is usually what they call like a bonus page. But here I think it doesn't really matter which side to use because the paper has a good stability, so it's not too thin. I think it's actually the same weight as the other ones. Yep, so you can cut this one just as good as you can cut any of these. And it's really nice because here you can either cut out the front page, which is usually a little bit of a throwaway because it has a company name on it and then you can't really use it. But as you can see here, it's really nice that Ciao Bella puts the logo onto the side. So you can use these images already, or you can also use this one. And it's really good, I find, because it's for either object. So if you want to do a scrapbooking, if you have some old images, for example, like maybe even from your grandparents or something like that, and you want to give your scrapbooks this mysterious look, then I think this is amazing. So you could place your old photographs around here and use it as a scrapbook. Or you can also use it for cards or any smaller projects that you have in mind, because here these images are not too big, so you could cut those out here or these little ones down here. So I think this is good for any project really. Here it's a little bit different now, because as you can see, this lady, she becomes really big. So I wouldn't think that looks good on a card unless you would kind of chop off her head. So I probably think this is better for a bigger project, either a canvas or maybe like a bigger art journal, or you could even frame certain objects here. So I love these images, but probably not so good for card making, but really good for a scrapbook, of course. But these ones here, they could fit on a card. So you still can cut out certain objects here. Like for example, this would be a really good focal point. So still very versatile. And then you have this on the back. Then we have this one. Again, I would say that's probably good for scrapbooking and card making, or any other mixed media project that you have in mind. So you could cut this one out, or here or there. So this is really cool. I love this. So much variety. You would probably get 3 cards out of this if you would just cut them out individual. So really, really nice. And then again, you have this kind of a little bit of a stained look on the background here on the side. Next one, similar as before. So this lady is pretty big. So again, it would be really nice for a scrapbook page with old images around. Or again, you cut out certain images here, which I also love. Here's the background. Oh, this is also very pretty. I really love this. And also this mixed media look that's going on here with the classified, confidential. Really, really cool how they came up with that. I love that. And here you have probably like a city map or something, like a grid of a city on the back. So this is pretty cool. All very spy or detective related. Same here. Here you have this really cool background. Here it's more of a pattern now. So this is really nice for like any background that you might need, where the background can still be a little bit busy because you have these really cool words and like a newspaper look. Or if you want something that just has these letters on it, then this is really cool as well. Really nice with these, very vintage green tints. So cool. And now you have a page here that's fussy cutting again, similar to this little pad that I've just shown you. But if you're into an art journal, or if you do the scrapbooking projects, and this is great because you can see these are pretty big. So if you want the smaller version for card making, then I would probably recommend to get the version that's here. So this is exactly the same paper that I'm showing you, but of course a smaller dimension. So if you want to fussy cut those ones, then instead of the very small one, 6x6, you could get them in here. So then you have really the best out of all the world. So really depends on your project, but I really love this. This is so cool. I love all these old camera related objects and all these typewriter, really cool lamp, really nice. And again, if you're not into fussy cutting, I think here you have also a very interesting side. So that makes a really good background, I believe. So especially if you're not into the green tints, then you also get this nostalgic brown tint. Really cool. And then we have this lady again with different newspaper articles. Same on the back here, also this newspaper brownish look. Then one more thing that you could fussy cut here, or you could also use this as a card front, so you don't have to cut it out individually. You could just cut out a bigger portion, because I think this would look really good. It has already this mixed media style on it, so very cool. And if you don't need all of these different items, then you also get an interesting background. One more fussy cutting, so cool with this typewriter and these discs and stamps, confidential, very cool. And another back here. And then here another background. And you also have this one, which looks like a spy and detective kind of theme. So I really think it's an interesting paper, really cool. And that's not all. And as promised, I will open this as well. So as you can see, here we have this paper that's called Patterns Pad 12 by 12. And similar to the other one, I believe both sides are very usable. So either you can cut out these like a card front, or you could fussy cut these individually. So lots of choice already on the front. I really love this as well here with the fingerprints. Really interesting, and also really nice on this side. So here you could cut out these letters individually if you like, or the phone, or another background. Then here we have these cool fingerprints once again. It's just stunning. It's so funny how they come up with this design, and fingerprints here on the back as well. Then we have these kind of journal style, or I don't know, something with numbers, probably from the stamps or whatever they used back in the day, kind of like a date stamp and different numbers, or it's called Enigma, so probably it has some kind of code on here, which I think is such a great idea. So I love that. And here again, you have this newspaper mixed media style on the back. Then you have one paper with these cameras and this more vintage brown tint. And you have different choices here. You could just cut out a bigger frame here and then use it on your card to layer it up, or you could cut out individual bits. I also like all these sayings: confidential, keep secrets, top secret, reserved, classified again. So a lot of different things you could cut from here, or just use bigger bits for a background. And another background here. Then I really love this one. It's kind of different numbers and letters, like from a typewriter. So you could cut either a certain one out, and then you could make up a word, or you can also just use it as a background or in your scrapbook as a whole. That works, of course. And here another background. Then here we have the typewriter again, and once again you can cut out certain portions here and layer it up or use it as a background. And then the same here. And then we have this pretty cool look here. So again, this whole Enigma style with these coded numbers or words or international Morse code. Very cool. And then this on the back. And last but not least, here is another background. Or you can use this one. So this is really nice, I think, because a lot of times it's the question, well, if you want to use the foreground or the background on the paper and you cannot decide which side to use, then of course you could just buy a second pad, right? So I can just recommend you buy this twice or buy the other one twice. But sometimes you just want even more variety. And therefore, I think it's great that Ciao Bella gives you the option of the normal, well, I say normal, but what I mean is the motif main paper that has all of these different designs. But hand in hand, they also brought out this pattern paper. So I think this way you just get a lot of different looks, which is really great. And again, if this isn't your thing because you're not into scrapbooking or you like the smaller versions, then the options are, as I said, the 8x8 or the A4 paper. And this has a similar look. Again, it has a few different options here. And I believe I want to see this as well. So I believe it's similar to what I've just shown you, but just in case there is something hidden, as it's the line Enigma, who knows? Let's play detective here as well. So once again, really nice that there is already a lot of different potential usage out of these images. I think that's great. So this is not a throwaway cover, so you can use this. Or, of course, you can turn it around and cut out these portions, whichever area you like best. Oh yeah, this is good. I'm glad I opened this because I think this is very cool. These like old stamps. So really interesting how they come up with their main woman that they have here, the spy woman. She has her own postage or her own stamp, 2 cents. And then you have the same going on here with the stamp. Here another woman, this cool Enigma machine. So that's very interesting. And yeah, just a really good variety here, just again to layer it up on your card or on your project. Very interesting. And here it's a background. Then we have these tags. Oh yeah, that's also good. I'm glad that I opened this. Gives you even more variety. So here you can cut out these tags or these, once again, you could just cut out these individual images here or the whole tag. So very interesting, love it. And another one of those backgrounds as we've seen before. Here we have even more labels, which is interesting, like really fits to the main theme, of course, with classified, private, top secret, confidential. That is really good because then you can all layer it up and then you could maybe even cut out this strip and put a sentiment on or something like that. Very interesting. And the same backgrounds that we've seen before. Another one. Oh yeah, it's good that I opened that. I kind of imagined just more of those, but actually a lot of fussy cutting options here, just again to make it a bit interesting. But it's not very difficult, I think, because a lot of times, like with those ones, for example, which they call the fussy cut pad, it's a bit more intricate. So I think to cut some of those might be a little bit more tricky. But here, well, here actually it's quite easy as well. But here I also think there are a lot of easy shapes. So it's easy to cut out the circle. This isn't difficult. So that would be good for me because, as you might know, I'm not interested so much in the fussy cutting because it hurts my hand. However, if it's just an easy shape, like here again, ooh, I love those. If it's just like a rectangular shape or round, then I think that's fairly doable. Or if you have one of those cutting machines, then you could also just cut them. So if you have one of those from Tim Holtz or, you know, these, I'll show you one that I have. So I'm using this one, and this is Tim Holtz Tonic Studio slicer or cutting machine. I don't know really how to call that, but that's very easy because if you have just a straight shape like here, then you don't even have to fussy cut it. You could just line this up and then just see wherever you want to cut it, and then you could just slice this. So that would be probably my preferred option. As I said, fussy cutting is not really my favorite. However, I do it if it's easy. So sometimes I just think the paper is so lovely that I don't want to throw it away and I want to have it on my projects because I love how it all fits together. And here, obviously, it's even easier because here you could just slice this with your cutting tool. Really, really nice. Here's the same. You could just slice this as well, or you can cut it. Or you could probably even get away by carefully just tearing it, and then you could use a little bit of this distress ink. It could be vintage photo, or I also like to use walnut stain. And then I just use a little blending tool, and then I just would carefully rip this paper apart, and then sometimes the edges obviously don't look really nice, but I just want that it looks worn and vintage. Then I would just use a little bit of the ink, and then I would just ink around the edges, and this way you could have an even further distressed or vintage look. So great options here. I really love these cards. Very interesting. Love this woman, and again fits very good for any card. So it's a really good size to have as a paper. Here you get more of these, what is this, like a file, top secret, questioning, classified, different looks here. And again, another back side. And then last but not least, we have this background and then more of these tags. So I think this is fantastic because really easy to cut. That would be something that I would like to do. Very good. And as we said before, also really good for smaller objects is this fussy cutting pad. And what I also love is that Ciao Bella, they brought out 4 different big stamp sets. So you can see how big they are. That's my hand. So a lot of different choices here, and they all fit to the paper. So here you have these Enigma or this kind of machine-related stamps, and you have these numbers: do not open, East London Observer, keep secrets, and then this little bit of torn brick or wallpaper, or just any kind of torn edge here, which I think looks really interesting if you are into this kind of mixed media look. Next one is this one, and that has the objects that we have seen in the paper. So we have this lamp again, a typewriter, then the London Gazette, like a typewriter thing or kind of newspaper related. Maybe somebody knows what that is and let me know. I don't really know all these old objects, I have to say, but never mind, they just look really cool. Private, top secret. I really love this here as well, like some cool industrial look. Interesting designs. Then this one, that's also very cool. So you have again this mixed media industrial shape going on. Then these old film rolls, the camera again, like so cool. And then last but not least, we have this one, and it has the old phone, confidential, a friend helps you keep your own secrets. That would be really fun card for somebody who's friend that has a lot of secrets, or where you can have secrets together with. This is very, very good, I think. And again, more of this journaling and confidential theme. And fitting to those, we have some funky stencil. So I thought this is really cool because it has all these kind of dots and shapes on it. If you need something for your background, if you're into inking or any kind of mixed media texture paste and so on. So that would be interesting. And as we've seen on this paper before, they have a lot of this. So this kind of letters that are kind of random. So I think this would be really, really nice as well, or it could also go together. So a lot of times it's very difficult, right? Because the paper in itself is already so amazing, but I think you want to give it your own touch as well. And therefore I think it's great if you use the paper as a background, and then you can use the stamps and this stencil to just, make it yours. So it's not just Ciao Bella's, but it's actually something that you created. And now we have something that goes totally into the opposite direction. Couldn't be more different, really. So here we have this spring-related release, and it's with a lot of birdies because it's called Sparrow Hill. And similar as we have seen before, so we have 2 of these 12 by 12. The one has the main theme again, the main pictures, while the other one has those backgrounds. And again, they walk hand in hand, which I think is good because, sure, you could buy just another one of those, but then it's also maybe a bit boring, right? Because then you already have seen this. And with this one, again, you just get a little bit of a variety here, different birds, different backgrounds. And as you can see here, these are all your different options. So you have one really, really colorful one, but with a lot of flowers. And then the bird one, the bird's house. And this one actually, this really colorful one, you will also see in a little bit as a rice paper. And the same with those motifs. We have them as a rice paper as well. So stay tuned for that. But anyway, this is your 12 by 12 paper. Similar as we have seen before. Again, the fussy cut pad, 6 by 6. And here you get all these cute little details, bird and the nest and the little eggs inside here. And it's all very spring or summertime related. Has all these gorgeous, really, really nice images. But let's open. Now I'm intrigued because I'm like, does this look again totally different to the main paper? So let's have them both open. All right, so this here is the main theme, as I said, has the main motifs. And I think it's really nice because once again, you could cut out already these ones from the front, or you can use those ones. Today is a good day to have a good day. So really nice and motivational. Then we have this really nice one with these purple flowers. Again, a slight retro or vintage look. A little bit subdued retro, so I think it's gorgeous, really nice. And again, you can cut out these different objects here. This is also really beautiful. I love this really vintage look. This is also gorgeous. Welcome to our family. Gather, enjoy, laugh, relax. Beautiful images here. Here you have different options once again to cut out. You can use this one, which I love. So very beautiful. And now I'm intrigued with this one. So let's open this too. Okay, so very similar to the one I've just shown you. So you can cut out a lot of these options, but it's not so much fussy cutting. It's more like a full, almost like a full card front. It's really nice. So cute with this little birdhouse and the birds in it. Hello, home. Very cute. Then here we have more of these little cards that you could potentially slice again with any kind of machine that you have that cuts the paper. Yeah, lots of different options here, or just a simple hello. Then you get little sentiments here. Welcome to our family. Every day is a fresh start. Be our guest. This would be really nice if you maybe haven't seen somebody in a long time and they're planning to visit you, and you could already welcome them up front with sending a card. So I think this is so cute. But it would also make like a good birthday card, or, something. Maybe, I don't know, there is an engagement or something, and you could make something with welcome to our family. Really, really beautiful. And here's a bag, and then one more, and some more tags. So as you can see, lots of variety. Can't really decide what I love most here. I think they're all really, really nice. And again, I just love how this all works together, because you can use the main paper, you can use these backgrounds, you can use these little items here to fussy cut. You have these great tags and great card fronts on here. Just fantastic, really cool. And then we also have like stamps that are fitting. So these came out specifically for this line. And I also wanted to show you this one because it wasn't specifically for this one, but because it's nature related, I thought I want to show this to you as well. It has this really cool mixed media look on it. So this is a flower, and here is some kind of a lavender or some stems, and a dragonfly. So two different stems, but I thought they're really nice. They would work nicely together with anything nature related. And then this is the official stamp set for this paper. And this one has, again, like a little birdhouse, I suppose, and then a lot of garden related images. Again, welcome to our farmhouse. And then here you have another one that is flower related. So that's really nice. And you also have some fitting stencils. So one has these flowers on it, which I thought would be really cool, once again, for texture paste or coloring a background or just, making this paper a little bit more your own. And then one that's more abstract flowers. And then I thought this is also really cool. Gives you this honeycomb. So if you're on our website, messypapercrafts.com, and in the search tool, you could play around with the word bee or honeycomb or honey, and then you will see all different options that you have there. And I think that's pretty cool because this makes a really nice background, but then you also get different stamps and dies or paper that layer really nicely on top. And of course, it works well with such a nature theme here as well. So once again, so many different looks that are possible here. And as promised, here you see now the rice paper. And as I pointed out on the one background paper, here is the fitting rice paper in this look, the flowerful look, really, really cool. I love all these bold colors, gorgeous. The next one, let's actually stay in this line of the Sparrow Hill, so this nature one. Here is a really gorgeous A3 rice paper, and it's very farmhouse related. Here you have this really nice key and it says home. Then these beautiful flowers. Of course, the featured little bird here, the sparrow. Very, very pretty. And it's great because a lot of times people ask me, what do I do with this big rice paper? Or what's rice paper in general? Why do I need rice paper? And I don't know if you ever have done any decoupaging. So in the traditional decoupage, we would have a napkin and you would peel off all the layers and you would only keep the motif on the front and you ditch all the white layers that you don't need of the napkin. But the problem is that oftentimes when you use like a glue, Mod Podge or something, and you put it down, and then you put this napkin down, because it's so thin, once you start smoothing it out, it could actually tear or it just crumbles and doesn't look that good. But with this rice paper, and Ciao Bella has very, very good high quality rice paper, there you just have some weight to it. So actually let me take one out of here because in this there is the whole order in. So I ordered quite a few, and this way you don't see really how thin it is. So let me grab one. Actually two. All right. So here you feel or you hear how thin that is, right? So it's thin. However, if you put it down, you can see there is some gravity to it. So if you imagine now you have some glue under here, then you can just still smooth it out and it doesn't really tear that easily. So it has some good weight and quality to it so that it doesn't immediately get destroyed when you put it into the glue. And I love the size because you could do bigger projects, of course. You could decoupage maybe a night table or some piece of furniture or I don't know, any kind of old vintage item that you have that needs a little bit of an upcycle, like a recycle look. And of course, if you're not into those objects, often I use the smaller one here for a tray, for example. So I decoupage trays, like a wooden tray that doesn't look good just on its own. So I usually just paint it and then I put this in. And then I use a resin on top to give it some shininess. However, you don't have to do any of this, right? You could also just tear off certain parts here and use it for an art journal, a card, a canvas, anything really. So it's very versatile in what it is. And because it's so thin, it gives you these really nice edges. Like when you just tear it off rather than cutting it off, it gives you a very nice mixed media look. So I just love it. It's so nice. And again, high quality of Ciao Bella, I have to say. I used them a few times and I was never disappointed. So that's really good. And here, obviously, I just love this garden collection. It's so cute with this bird and it's so romantic and vintage. It's really, really gorgeous. Great designs here. The next one has more like a spring theme again with a bird and these eggs. Could be nice also for Mother's Day or, you know, like a birthday card. Really, really pretty, like green and yellow here. This one is a little bit more purple and blue. Also really great designs. I love this bird here on the little books. So as you can see, I think one piece of paper could make a lot of different objects, like for a card or like a canvas or something, because here you could cut one, you could use this here, there. So a lot of different options here, which is great. And then this one here, I mean, this is just stunning. Look at that. So cute. I love all this, like these old vintage notes in the background, like this music. Then you have these really gorgeous flowers, a little bit nostalgic or whimsical looking. Really, really nice. So those are these big ones. And, well, take this to the side. And as I said, this small one that I've shown you already before. So instead of one sheet of paper, you could get this here as a rice paper as well, which I think is really cool. And fitting to the Enigma series, we have fitting rice paper here as well. So this is one very cool, like Daily Express, newspaper related. Here's a splattered glass. Very interesting designs. The thumbprints again, or fingerprints. Pretty cool. Then we have one that has this typewriter on it, these letters that we've seen before on the back side of the paper. Again, a very interesting background. And then we have this one. This has a camera that you've seen before and these film rolls. Then again, classified, confidential. And again, it would make a really interesting project for a canvas or an art journal or anything that you're into. So definitely lots of options with this rice paper. And that's it from me today for the new Ciao Bella look. And yeah, let me know what you like best. As per usual, you can just send me a quick email to sandy@messypapercrafts.com. And with that, yeah, stay messy, stay crafty, and I see you next time.